Welcome to aminacademy.com. In world history, let us discuss about Sangam text and society. Dawn of civilization in the south. Early historical society in the south is reconstructed mainly from the early Tamil anthologies, and it is only recently that the picture has started receiving corroboration from the expanding discipline of archaeology. The culture was composite, in which the northern and local elements had already attained a high level of fusion, but variations in this culture may be best analyzed by referring to the regional scheme in the Kolhapiam, the earliest Tamil grammar. Regional diversity of the South. Five physiographic divisions of the land and the climate are mentioned in it: the forest, the hills, the plains, the littoral, and the arid. Dealing with seasonal patterns in these zones, the work speaks about God's staple food, fauna, flora, folk habits, occupations, musical instruments, and so on. But the pattern of life differed from region to region. Thus, for example, while life in the plains centered around an agricultural pursuit, that in the littoral was vigorously concerned with commerce. There was a distinction too between the rural and the urban areas, many of the settlements of the later category having come up this period. The Sangam age refers to the period between 300 BC to 200 BCE. In the history of Tamil Nadu, the society during this period was composed of several small kingdoms governed by kings of chieftains. The main source of information for this era is Sangam age and literature. The Sangam period was a significant time in ancient South India's history, and the Sangam texts provide a window into the society of that time. The Sangam period was a time when Tamil poets and scholars gathered in academies, and the works they created reflect the values and cultural of the time. Now, the society. The kingdom period was the time of sharp social inequalities. Ruling class, called the Arasar, married into the Vellalas, the cultivating class that held most of the land, the, the pariahs, who were agricultural laborers who also worked with animal skins. Values. The Sangam period was a time when people valued honesty, generosity, obedience, and charity. They also respected elders, teachers, and guests. The religion and spirituality were important in all aspects of life. People worshipped nature gods and performed rituals. Art and craft, like music, dance, poetry, and embroidery, were encouraged. The literature. The Sangam period is also known as the period of Tamil literature. The Sangam texts include epics like Silapadigaram, Manimegalai, Sivaka Sintamani, Valayapati, and Kondalakesi. Prominent poets include Tiruvalluvar, who wrote the Tirukural, and Avayar, the prominent poet. Ceremonies. Popular family ceremonies included housewarming, purification, puberty, and marriage. Erecting hero stones was a ceremony to respect the dead. Popular festivals include Onam, Kartigai, Pongal, Tainirādal, and Ponguni Vilavu. Poetry. Many poets came from the variety of backgrounds, including farmers, business people, and numbers of royal families. At least 27 of the poets were women. Governance. The Sangam text emphasized fair governance by kings. priests warned kings that royal injustice would lead to divine punishment. Now, let us discuss about Sangam literature. The earlier writing in the Tamil language throughout to have been produced in three Sangams or literary academics or literary college in Madurai in India from the 1st to the 4th century CE. The Tolkappiyam, a book of grammar and rhetoric, and 8 anthologies of poetry were compiled, where these are some poetries here. That is Aingurunuru, Kurundogai, Natrinai, Agananuru, Kalittogai, Paditru Puranam Muru, Parivadal, the ninth anthology, but Pattu consists of the 10 ideals that present a picture of early Tamil life. Sangam writings are possibly unique in the Indian literature, which is almost purely religious. The poems are concerned with two main topics. Those of the first 5 collections are on love, agam, and those of the next 2 are on heroism, puram, including the praise of kings and their deeds. Parivadal, the 8th collection, contains poems of both types. Many of the poems, especially on heroism, display great freshness and vigor and are singularly free from the literary constraints of much of the other early and medieval literature in India. Since they deal almost entirely with non-religious subjects, those poems are also free from the complex mythical allusions and are such an outstanding features of most Indian art forms. There are nonetheless some instances of religious works in Sangam poetry. The Parivadal, for example, is believed to be a collection of 70 poems, of which only 22 remains in full today. It contains, among others, poems about some idols. Next one, we talk about regional diversity of the South that already talked about. Main kingdom of South. The Chola, Pandya, and Chera were the 3 main kingdom, but a number of tribal chieftains were hereof were no less important. Wars and tribal clashes were frequent, and the king, who was at this stage essentially a war leader, was primarily concerned with the protection of his tribe or kingdom. Not unnaturally, the Sangam poems, although occasionally revealing the type of sophistication which is in tune with the emerging complexity of the society, manifest a largely tribal settlement in war and love. The period of Sangam literature. The excavation revealed that Tamil knew the art of writing before the beginning of the Christian era, that is, since the second era of this century BC. The earliest script that the Tamil used was the Brahmi script. It was only later, that is, from the late ancient and early medieval period, that they started evolving a new Anglo script called the Grantha, Grantha script. The modern of Tamil alphabet is derived from this angular script. Some of the contents of the Sangam literature are corroborated by the writing of some Greek and Roman classical writers of the 1st and 2nd centuries AD, like Ptolemy, Pliny the Elder, Strabo, and the anonymous author of the Periplus, leading us to fix the period of Sangam age roughly between the 3rd century BC to the 3rd century AD. So most of the Sangam literature also must have been produced during this period, though it has finally compiled in the form of its as it is the found today during the 4th and 5th centuries AD. So far we discussed about Sangam and its society and about this text also. We have done. Please subscribe our YouTube channel.